Hey guys, today I'm just going to give you guys a brief walkthrough on installing ESXi, VMware ESXi 6.7 on VMware Workstation 15. In order to get Workstation, you will need to go to myvmware.com, log in. If you don't have an account, you can create one, it's for free. And once you do that, you can go ahead and download VMware Workstation. They do give you the option to try it out, um, or if you like to, you could purchase it. And then once you've got it downloaded, just go through the wizard to install it. You might need some prerequisites. I think it might ask for uh, Microsoft redistributable. Um, and it might reboot a couple times during the install. But once that's all uh, good and fine, we can go ahead and launch Workstation Pro. And I'm planning on the game plan is to build out an entire environment with this. What I'm going to do is I'll right click on my computer, I'll create a new folder, and this is going to be my Vatican environment. So I'll just call it that. And inside of here, we'll go to File, New Virtual Machine. So this is the wizard. You could do typical. I usually do custom, so I can get a little bit more granular if I need to with the options. Um, so this is Workstation 15, but I'm going to select ESXi 6.7 update 2, um, and see what happens. You could possibly choose Workstation 15. That might be the one I'm supposed to, but let's see if this works. So I'll click next. My ISO is already here in my downloads folder. So I've got it downloaded here. Um, you can also get this ISO from my VMware. This is the ESXi 6.5 hypervisor. When you're inside that portal, you can go ahead and download that. And this is free, I believe. So that shouldn't cost you anything. So once we have that set up, I'll go ahead and click next. So good thing about this actually has an option for ESX. Um, I actually tried doing this before with VirtualBox, and I ran into so many issues. I lost sleep over that. It's about 4 days of just trying to troubleshoot what was going on. But we can get into that another time. So I'll just go ahead and click VMware ESXi and click next there. So this is going to be my main host. So it's going to be Vatican ESXi 01. And I am going to drop this. I already have a folder structure created. I believe it's in April here. Yeah. So I went ahead and created a folder structure, created a folder for VMware, the Vatican environment, and then this folder here where I'm going to house everything. So once that's done, click next. All right. So since this is going to be I'm going to be kind of doing a nested virtualization on this environment. You will need to give this ESXi uh, host a lot of resources depending on how you want to scale out your environment. So, looking at my task manager here, um, Yeah, I know, guys. I have only four procs. I'm working on getting an upgrade to this, but right now I have just a Ryzen 3 1200. I'm gonna assign all four procs to it, um, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, in the future I am gonna upgrade. As far as memory is concerned, I already uh, purchased some more memory. I think I originally had like 16 or 20 gig. It was some random number or whatever. But I went ahead and upgraded over the weekend. So I am going to assign this one. I'm going to go ahead and give this 16 gigs there. So that's fine. Alright, so here I'm going to bridge it uh, just to get it up and running. Of course, bridging means that it's going to pick up an IP similar to your guest machine here, um, and so it'll probably reach out to your router or whoever is providing your DHCP addresses. It'll pick one up. You could do NAT or you could do host only. Um, Once I get it all built out, I probably will put it on its own private network, isolate it out of my own. But for right now, I'm just gonna bridge it. Um, IO controller. I guess we'll do recommended. SCSI. So if you guys want to choose anything else, to each your own. But I'm gonna go ahead and go recommended. And it also wants me to do SCSI for the disk drive. VirtualBox actually only has it. Well, it has IDE as their default, and again, that was a whole issue there because I can kind of get into this just for a few seconds. Apparently, in VirtualBox, when you use IDE, you can only mount up to three uh, additional IDE drives, in addition to your core OS drive. So maybe like a total of four, with that master slave, I guess, um, uh, setup, and that was a rabbit hole I do not want to go back into. So we'll just go with SCSI here. Um, and then create a new virtual disk. Yeah, we're going to create a new virtual disk. That's fine. All right. So in I'm going to be creating a few disk drives here, but initially, um, this disk drive technically does not need to be super large. Of course, ESXi is real lightweight. Um, and then we can add drives to the our nested virtual host later. But so for this one, I'm gonna give ESXi. I think I'm gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it 10. Uh, I'll be generous. I'll give it 20 gigs. I do like to allocate all the space now and to leave it as a single file. I know some people like to do dynamic as expands. You know, to each their own. I just like creating all of this now and just getting it out the way. That way I know, hey, this is all I have to use, and I like keeping it as one single file. Um, but you're more than welcome to choose another option if you like. So that's cool there. All right, and then we're gonna drop this not in my downloads. We are gonna drop it on a separate drive. We're gonna drop it on April. Vatican. We're gonna drop it right here. So save it, and I believe that looks good. We'll go ahead and leave this as is, and then of course, um, once it's finished building out, we will go ahead and customize a little bit more by adding those multiple drives for isolating out our environment a little bit. All right, cool. So we'll finish. It's gonna create the disk here, and so far I'm not using too many resources. Both memory and CPU seem to be within normal ranges. Of course, disk one is getting hammered right now. So as it creates this uh, as it creates the hard disk, the VMDK. So this particular process, of course, it is 20 gigs, so it shouldn't take too long. But going back to VirtualBox, I don't think VirtualBox took too long either when it was creating this. Of course, VirtualBox uses its own proprietary um, hard disk format. I think it's the Virtual Disk Image (VDI), I believe. And then VMware has their own VMDK format. So this is if you're going to be utilizing a lot of VMware stuff, it is best to stick to their file format for the drive. That way, it talks to a lot of their stuff nicely. All right, so all of that looks good. So um, we mounted the ISO already, so we should be good. Let's. I don't believe we need anything else. Let's power this bad boy on. Um, so this is powering on, and while it powers on, FYI guys, um, just going back into the settings here. When you do use the ISO when you mount it, make sure that it's an ISO with the naming format similar to this, and not any of these. Um, don't ask me how I know, but if you're looking at the timestamp, you might see a gap, and yeah. But anyway, so uh, FYI, whenever you go to my VMware website, um, make sure you download the correct hypervisor ISO. All right, so we are making progress here. It's loading here. Let's see what we got. Starting at services. All right, so we're at the installation screen. We want to hit continue, and we want to hit F11 to accept terms and conditions. Let's see if it. All right, so it found our drive, 20 gigs. Sounds good. We're going to use everything, leave it as the default US, hit enter, and we're going to type in our password, root password. They match, hit enter. Alright, so well, it's confirming that the install will continue. And that the disk will be repartitioned. So hit F11. Great. It's kind of interesting because going back to my VirtualBox tangent, nothing against VirtualBox. You know, it's great. You know, I use it all the time on my other machine, on my other lab machine. Um, but with ESXI, apparently, you know, they do not play nice together, which probably makes sense. You know, different vendors and so forth like that. Maybe in the future they will, but I have been having a hard time trying to get them to play nice with each other. But anyways, when I was trying to do this with VirtualBox, I was getting hit with some pre-install errors and pre-install warnings. Hey, make sure that you have virtualization enabled in your firmware in your BIOS of your physical machine. And I had most of that already taken care of, but it's just interesting to note that with VMware, I mean VMware just with workstations just going through. Not to say that we won't get hit with any errors in the future, but for right now, we are looking good. So we will hit enter. All right, it's going to reboot, and we probably might want to remove our optical disk, which it probably did already. Apparently, okay. So hopefully it removed the ISO already. So it's detecting that we're on a Ryzen 3 processor. We're 4 procs. It found the memory, 16 gigs. Um, Again, I did that in order to use this ESXI to build out a lab environment in the very near future. So go ahead and get this going here. Hopefully everything loads up without a hiccup. All right, let load it up. So this is pretty much what it looks like, guys. One thing that I can go into with you guys. We can customize this. Just one key point. I don't use IPv6. Maybe you guys will use it, but I don't. So I'll go into F2 to customize. Enter my root password, and I will go down to configure management network. Go down to IPv6 and disable it. It will require a restart, so you can hit enter, enter and escape, and it will reboot. We'll let it restart here. So that way, when it restarts, in theory, we will only see that IPv4 address, and we should be able to open up because we set the network, the NIC card to bridged. Um, it's going to pick up an IP from our local VLAN, whatever is assigning addresses on your network, on your local network, and we should be able to open up a browser window, and once it's all loaded and we get that IP address, all right. So we've got a 10.0032. So in theory, we can go here to 10.0032. We'll get hit with a certificate warning, which is fine. And boom, we are at the login window. I will go ahead and log in with you guys. And we are in. I'll uncheck the customer experience program. We are in our ESXI. Congratulations, you guys have just installed ESXI on VMware Workstation. I will go ahead and end the video here. If you have any comments or concerns, leave them down below, or questions. But thanks for sticking with me on this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.